Hey everyone, welcome to our launch party. It's Make Magazine Volume 65. It just showed up in the office, and like we like to do whenever it does, we're throwing ourselves a little live stream party here with some of the contributors to the magazine, and we'll talk through some of the content that's in here. Before we get to that, I want to do a real quick thank you to everybody that's been involved with putting this issue together. All the contributors, all the artists, my team, and especially all of the readers, all of you guys who are subscribers, all of you who buy it on the newsstand. We've got a great issue here. I'm really excited about this one. We also have a really exciting week ahead of us with World Maker Faire New York happening next weekend. So you've got 8 days to plan your trips to New York. And like we like to do with these live events, we've got some special promos that we'll be doing. They're good just during this live event. Actually, we'll probably let go a little bit over, maybe into tomorrow. But we've got a few different promos that we put into the description fields of the two different video streams that we're doing for this live stream, both on YouTube and on Facebook. We have a subscription offer that's a $20 offer for the print subscription of Make Magazine, which is a tremendous deal. It's about as cheap as it ever gets. When it gets to that point, it's the point where I start buying subscriptions for my friends and family because it's cheaper than I get access to here in the office. We also have a couple of Maker Faire New York offers. There's a subscription and one-day ticket offer with a promo code, or you can select a weekend offer that is also using that same promo code. So if you guys want to go to Maker Faire and you're watching this video and you're excited about Make Volume 65, we'll hook you up. You guys are good. And one of the other things that I want to throw out there is if you're not near New York, there's a lot of great fairs that are coming up all over the world. And one of my favorite things to do is to type in makerfaire.com/map. And it shows all of the different fairs that are happening in all the different continents. And then I just dream about which ones I'd love to go to. And sometimes I do get to go to some of them. They're always incredible. They're all very diverse in the sense of the types of content, the types of people, but there's all with that one wonderful shared element of making, which is what we like to celebrate here. Okay, so with that, let me throw to, I don't know if we've got the overhead camera on, but let's take a peek at Make Volume 65. And as I mentioned, super excited about this issue. This is the cover. You can see we've got Aya Badir, who is one of the contributors that is in our live stream today as our cover story. We're talking about 10 years of LittleBits. LittleBits launched at Maker Faire, and now 10 years later, it's a huge company. It's a huge success story. It's incredible, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then what I'm going to do here real quick, like all good people do as they read magazines, I'm going to flip through some of my favorite pieces backwards. Back page here, this is our show and tell. These are contributions from readers like you guys. This is a great section for you guys to pay attention to, because if you want to get yourself into Make Magazine, one of the most easy ways to do it is to submit to one of our MakerShare missions on our platform, MakerShare, makershare.com. And we are selecting some of our favorites from that MakerShare mission to go into each issue of Make Magazine. So these are all from readers like you guys. And so yeah, makershare.com, and then navigate over to the missions page. As always, incredible projects. One of my favorites in this one is our Easy Ultrasonic Levitation device. It's a way to float tiny little items just using a transceiver and a receiver from an ultrasonic sensor. This is from our Make Germany partner. They published it originally, and then we are republishing it here. I think it's just, I mean, this is, to me, this is the next device that goes inside of the Mad Scientist laboratory. You've got your Jacob's Ladder, you've got your Tesla coil, now you're going to have your Easy Ultrasonic Levitator. And it's cheap, and it's easy. Dog Bowl Coffee Roaster, super fun. This is from Larry Cotton, who does a lot of really inventive projects. He uses a couple of handheld power drills and off-the-shelf heat gun to make an automated coffee bean roaster. I actually wanted to get Larry into this into this launch party that we're doing right now to talk about this project. And he replied to me that he couldn't participate because he is based in North Carolina and is currently fleeing a hurricane. So, Larry, I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're dry. And I look forward to having you on the next one. And I think he's fine. He's been emailing with me today. So it sounds like he's gotten out of harm's way. A really nice profile piece about the Black Girls Code group that are doing outreach for coding throughout the country and actually even into international markets. A really great group led by Kimberly Bryant, and I encourage you guys to look them up and participate and support them. Really doing great stuff. This issue, the big theme of this issue, let me jump over to this section here. The big theme of this issue, we call it Maker School, and what we've done is we took a big section of the magazine and gave a run through of how to get started in making with an intention for success, various types of success, from success as a hobbyist, success as a professional, etc. We've got experts that chime in on topics ranging from robotics to woodworking to crafting to baking and food making and beyond. You know, there's a nice section about cosplay in here, and all of these are various ways that they all represent making, and all of its goodness. They all complement each other, and it's a great way. You go through this section, find stuff that inspires you, and you are then you're set to go as a maker. Now, of course, there's a lot to go from there. Okay, from there, I'm going to jump over to our cover story, and this is one that we spent some time working on with Aya at LittleBits and her team, and Aya put together a story. It's the overview of what 10 years building a successful company has been like. And so we've got, as I mentioned, we've got Aya on this live stream here, and I'd love to introduce her now. So hi, Aya, welcome, and
hi, everyone.
Thank you for being part of this.
I'm so excited. I'm honored to be part of it.
So tell us a little bit about that first. What that first moment was where you said, hey, I want to make this project, and it feels like there could be something here with it.
So I started working on LittleBits in early in 2008. It was never meant to be a product. It was never meant to be a company. It was never meant to be something that I spent 10 years on. It was really kind of the first project that I started doing after I had taken a few years out of making, and I was doing consulting in finance. LittleBits was kind of an excuse to get back to making a project, to soldering, to using my hands, to getting into electronics. And I just sort of made a few bits in conjunction with Jeff Hoffs at Smart Design, because we wanted to get some of their smart designers excited about electronics and to use them in the design process. We put magnets in because we didn't want them to put the circuits the wrong way and cause something to blow up or to smoke. We were meant to kind of do it as a prototype, to share it, to do a couple of photo shoots around it, and as a design process, and then move on to the next thing. But then I took it to Maker Faire and showed it off, just because I was part of that community, and it was an excuse to show off what I was working on to my fellow makers. And that was the aha moment. There were lines and lines of kids that were standing, that wanted to play with it, that were asking questions. Parents were standing in line, teachers, designers. People were asking if there were any other bits. People were asking where they could buy it. People were asking how they could use it in their classrooms, if there were curriculum written for it. And I was like, no, no, no. The answer is no to all those things, because it was really just a prototype. But that was the moment where I was like, oh, wow, there is something there. I should spend more time on it. And eventually became a company.
That's incredible, and a very successful company at that. If we can jump to that overhead camera, we've got some photos of various prototypes from the initial ones all the way through. I think we've got generation 4 shown here, which obviously now you've gone further than that. But which of these four, if I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at here, but of these four, which was the one that you brought to Maker Faire that first year?
I am trying to look at the stream now.
Here, let me throw it up. I can point this to you on the camera that we're looking at here. So here is, we've got the first generation cardboard model with some copper strip, and then a little bit more advanced for that second generation.
That one I hid. It was a pretty embarrassing prototype, but it is in our museum tables at the office. So
okay,
that's good. Actually, the first prototype I took was the one at the bottom. It was the first experimentation with color. It was prototype, I think, number 4.
Great.
First experimentation with color, first experimentation with white circuit boards. It was all handmade. The connectors were laser cut, ABS, on the laser cutter at I-beam. And all the colors are on there just via Sharpie or whiteout.
So that's true. You guys actually did do the whiteout then. I know you have that in the article, or you made sure that you had that telltale white circuit board with whiteout to guarantee it.
Absolutely.
That's
it was actually, that was a pretty hard thing to do. Believe it or not, in 2008, not a lot of people were doing white circuit boards, and so any PCB house that I was talking to was really surprised and really shocked, and everything was coming out beige or yellow, and I was pretty adamant about the white, and so that was a pretty difficult process. It took a few months to even get it produced.
And now circuit boards can be any color of the rainbow, which maybe is something that you helped kick off with all of this, something that you should get credit for that.
I guess
too.
It's just a different way to think. Yeah, just opening up a different way to think about electronics. That they don't always have to be black and green, and they don't always have to look scary.
So, since then, you've obviously had a lot of different milestones. But what are some of the ones that you're most proud of? And then, with that, tell us a little bit about what some of the things that you've been working on this year, because you've had some big things this year.
So one of the proudest milestones was at Maker Faire as well in 2011 when we made our first sale in person. So we had made our first kits, and we sold our kits to a gentleman called Carl Flanagan, whose receipt I still have also in the museum tables. That was the first time that I felt like a legitimate business, and that was very exciting. We've had some exciting milestones. I mean, I got a chance to be a TED Fellow, and I gave a TED Talk in 2012 that became really kind of the launch pad of the company in a global way, and still kind of is something that we refer to as the sort of the essence of our mission. We got to partner with NASA on a space kit as well, where they wrote curriculum, and we made all the activities and the bits for them. That was really exciting to be respected, and that was through them reaching out. So that was really fun. We did a partnership with MoMA, where we were in the Museum of Modern Art. We were in the collection. We got accepted into the collection, the permanent collection, but we also got to do window displays with MoMA, which we had up in the holidays, I think in 2013, and that was also really fun. Partnerships are some of the things that we get most excited about. Korg, we did a partnership on a synth kit with. It was the first time that we kind of partnered with a brand that was an enthusiast brand that had a history of and respect in the music technology sphere. And then fast forward to 2017, we did a co-branded partnership with Star Wars. And that was a mind-blowing experience to get to go to Lucasfilm and spend time with some of the writers and the creators and the character designers, and come up with a product that was really brand new, that a do-it-yourself R2D2 that is so meaningful to people around the world, and get a chance to kind of put our spin on it was extremely exciting as well.
That's and
then
it's incredible.
We keep kind of trying to do new things.
I would imagine. I think Star Wars to me seems like it's probably one of the most iconic brands. It's a Disney company now, so you obviously had to have some Disney connection in there too, which is maybe the other most iconic brand in the world. But to have that level of connection, I mean, that's just wild. It's to go, like you said, as we've been talking about this article, from Maker Faire to Star Wars in 10 years, is it's an incredible journey.
I mean, it's exciting to feel, you know, that you've developed a platform that then is a reason for people to reach out to you. You know, we've had people that we never thought were going to reach out, you know about us, like Brian Eno or J.J. Abrams, or you know, people that were fans that we didn't even sort of imagine, and it's something that we, you know, take a lot of pride in, and we don't take for granted, and we keep trying to kind of infuse in our mission every day.
That's great. And part of your mission, you've got a real connection to open source movement. And I know that that's something that you guys are still pursuing and promoting. So thank you for that, because I think that's also a really valuable part of the community.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, we were basically publishing all the circuit design files, all the PCBs. We found our community doesn't care as much about that, because a lot of the, you know, users are kids 8 to 12. But it's something that even if we're not sort of actively thinking about, I'm super supportive of other companies that do it, and of the open source hardware movement in general, and hope it continues to grow as it has been.
Great, thank you. So you'll be at Maker Faire next week.
100%, yeah. I'm giving a talk. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I might be on stage with you, so we can.
It would be great to see you.
We can talk more about all of this. But yeah, I'm excited to see you as well, and I'm still planning on popping by your offices before Maker Faire starts sometime next week. So I'll talk.
We try to make our office a mini Maker Faire.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's perfect. Super fun. Well, thanks again for being part of Make Volume 65, and for being a great part of the maker community in general. You know, you're one of the leaders of this movement, and you know, everyone looks up to you, and that leadership is very much appreciated.
Thank you guys for making it happen.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so from there, I'm going to jump. We got, you know, we got our LittleBits article here. It's a great piece. I encourage everybody to read it, and read it closely. But then the next page over, we have a really fascinating article as well, written by Joan and Rich from the Hacker Calculus program or project. You guys have your group. You call it's non-scriptum. Is that pronounced correctly? I want to make sure that I've got that the right way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hi, and thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
and for the opportunity. Yeah, we're always big Maker Faire fans, and glad to be part of the crowd here as well.
Excellent. And I think, Joan, you and I, we first met, it was 5 years ago, almost probably to the day. I think we were both on a pre-CES 3D printing panel in Los Angeles, in Century City. And then we had a quick conversation before and after that, and then, you know, so I've gotten to see you at Maker Fairs and other events through the years, and you know, we've been talking about different ideas, and so I'm excited that we finally got something, we're able to work on something and get something into Make Magazine about the work that you and Rich have been pushing forward with. Before we jump into that, and this is really interesting, you know, they talk about calculus, using 3D printing to help explain calculus in new ways. But your backgrounds, Joan, you are, as you call yourself, a recovering rocket scientist. You were JPL rocket scientist. You actually are ex-NASA. And
I was there for 16 years, and I've been gone for 17, so it's hard to believe I've been gone that long.
And then, Rich, you've been part of the RepRap movement since the earliest days, and you are a 3D printing expert in the most real way possible. How did you two meet, and how did you start collaborating on stuff?
Yeah, so we worked together at Maker, and we had Diego. You knew from those days. I was working in the back all that time. And Joan came on pretty early, and we've been working together in some form ever since then.
That's great. And you guys are based down in Pasadena, not too far from JPL, but that's where the Makers offices are. And I used to be down there. I miss the Pasadena area. It's such a great spot.
So we we a few years ago, I guess it's almost 4 years ago now, realized that no one was doing training, and nobody was really, kind of getting into what can you do with a 3D printer, particularly for education. And so the two of us formed this company, NonScriptum, about 3.5 years ago now, and started off just consulting for schools, and we had written one book at that point, and we realized that teachers really needed something in between having a model to download, because you learn a little bit from that, but not so much. But having models that that were open source and that had a book behind them that explained the science. So these are they both have incorporate a little bit of botany expertise, and you change a few numbers and you go from the camellia to the daisy here. And so you can do some interesting things with that. So we do everything in OpenSCAD. Rich does most of the modeling, and we have a couple of books out of 3D printable science projects. And our evolution was that while we were doing this, we realized that that it was good to do modules that you kind of could learn some piece of science, but it would be even better if you could do a whole curriculum end to end and teach something hands-on end to end. And calculus seemed really ripe for that. And so we approached several presses before MIT Press said, yeah, that'd be cool. So so there will be a book out from MIT Press that is an end-to-end calculus subbook, we're calling it right now. And the interesting thing is you have to do things in completely different order to teach hands-on like that.
Oh, I imagine, yeah. Yeah, and I'd say MIT Press is right. It is cool. I'm glad that they picked that up and are pushing forward on it, because it's really pretty interesting. Give us some examples of what ways that you could visualize calculus as through the way that you're promoting it, or you're teaching it.
Well, it allows you to do three-dimensional graphs. It's a graph over time of a classic pair of equations that are how if you have rabbits and foxes in a field, and this is time, you start off with some small number of rabbits, and the rabbits, as rabbits do, make more and more and more rabbits. And then the foxes are on the other axis. They notice, and their population will grow, but you'll crash the rabbits. And so you can really get a very good tactile feel for this inherently three-dimensional problem by graphing it in basically graphing it in 3D. And we've had to play around a bit with, the best ways to graph that and think about it. And we always try to do everything so it'll print well on a crappy printer at a school.
Yeah,
if you look at equations on Wikipedia, you'll see 3 projections of the graph, but it's something different to hold it in your hands.
Right. Yeah, because you can really study it. You can kind of get in there and look at it in really any axis that you might make the most sense to you. What other models and examples do you guys have along these lines?
So another example of a three-dimensional graph. So here we have the orbits of Earth, Venus, and Mercury. Earth and Venus are very circular. It's hard to see there, but Mercury is a little more elliptical. And the height of each of these is the speed that it's moving in the orbit at that point. So as they get closer to the sun, they move faster and faster. And for a more extreme example, here's the orbit of Halley's Comet, and the curve of the height looks like that.
Going faster and slowing down and down and down. And these are called Kepler. They were Newton's inspiration for calculus, or one of them, and he was trying to explain and tie together. So there's really interesting historical ties. And if you look at Newton's original book, Principia, and Newton's copy of Principia is here at the Huntington Library in San Marino with his notes on it, which is really cool. And if you look at it, his book, there is no algebra in it, because algebra was not all that common in that part of the world until a little later. So it's all geometry, and it's all geometrical models. So the idea is, the subtitle is What If Isaac Newton Had a 3D Printer, which you pick up on in the article as well.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And I love that, that especially the image of Halley's Comet, that that orbit model, we've got a little representation of it in your article in here, but to really see that that dramatic increase of speed as it makes its quick whip around the sun and then slows its way down out into the frozen
you can do some
streams.
Gravitational models. So this is the Earth-Moon gravitational well. So if you're on Earth, you have to climb all the way up from here to get out into where you can go to another planet or another body. But if you're on the Moon, it's just this one little blip here, and so you can really get some sense. A friend of mine calls this the plastic argument for moon base. Because you really just see it's just a little blip. They can be this big old thing you have to clamber out of.
Right.
If you put it that way.
So,
Stuff with Kirby is asking if there's any links to these books or the website.
Great question. So we've got a question from one of the people that's watching the live stream right now, Stuff with Kirby. He wants to know if there are any links to any of these models, to any of the books that you guys have worked on, to your website, etc.
So the website is in the article, at the end of the article in our bio, nonscriptum.com, and our 2 3D printed science projects books are out. We're still working, on the calculus, the hacker calculus book. So that'll be out in due course. But and all the models that are with the science projects books that are out are available open source on the publisher's website.
Great. And so that is for your website, nonscriptum, nonscriptum.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys get over there and check out some of the stuff that Joan and Rich are working on. It's very cool. It's a great new take on ways of explaining some advanced mathematical concepts. And Joan, I know you'll be at Maker Faire. I'm looking forward to strolling around with you next week as well. It's going to be a big party. Everybody's going to be there.
So we'll both be there.
Oh, good. Rich,
so
too.
We'll be around.
Perfect. I was hoping Rich would be there, too. I didn't want to speak for him. But good. Perfect. And other than that, I want to say thanks again for your great contribution to the magazine. I'm looking forward to working on more stuff together. And I am looking forward to getting everybody's feedback on Make Volume 65, which, again, I'm really excited about this issue. I want to say thanks to Joan, Rich, Aya, again, for jumping on camera and letting us do this launch party together. So thank you guys. And before I sign off from this, let me just remind everybody real quick again. We've got our promos. We've got our subscription offer. It's written up in the description field of the videos. That was the video here, both YouTube and the Facebook one. We've got our Maker Faire, World Maker Faire New York offer. That's also in that description field. And if you guys want to come, it's a great way to get a nice, easy way to get in. We also have our fantastic new platform. If you guys are, like everybody is, supporters of the Maker movement, the Maker community, we've got our new platform, our membership platform, make.co. And I really encourage you to go and check out make.co. Look at some of the ways that it lets you help support the Maker movement, support the creation of more Maker Fairs, of getting more makers to different events and getting their projects out there. So that's make.co. Some really interesting perks for you in there as well, from access to our digital archives to different workshops that we have coming up, live workshops, etc. It's really pretty cool. And then I want to remind you to check out our MakerShare missions. Not just the one that gets you into the pages of Make Magazine, which definitely do that, but also we've got a cosplay prop contest that we are doing at Maker Faire New York next week, and that is the way to submit your prop ideas for that, as well as a Hot Wheels Hot Mods contest that will. It's also in this issue of Make Magazine, 50th anniversary of Hot Wheels this year, and in collaboration with Hot Wheels, we're doing this contest that we will award the winners with cool Hot Wheels custom limited prizes. But most of all, most important, I want to see you guys. I want to see everybody next week at Maker Faire in New York. Come and say hi. And if you can't, then send us a note electronically. You can watch the live streams and the live blogs that we'll also be putting on makerfaire.com and Makezine. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. So once again, Make Volume 65. We're excited about it. Thank you very much to all of our contributors, especially Aya, Joan, and Rich, for taking part in this live stream. And we will be seeing you again very, very soon. All right, take care, everyone.